2025 has been a crazy year for credit cards. Well, with new credit cards being created and released, a ton of cards have been completely revamped and have raised their annual fees, and even new cards are going to be released in the not so distant future. And I recently have been canceling almost all of my high annual fee premium credit cards because I don't think they're worth it for me anymore. But that doesn't mean that these credit cards are useless. So that's why today I decided to rank the top 12 high annual fee credit cards to see which one is best based on the average traveler in the credit card game. So sit back, enjoy, and let me do all the research so you don't have to. And so I'm going to be ranking all these credit cards based on three criteria. One, all of the annual fees have to be above $395 of the Venture X level. So we're going to be looking at how high the annual fees are based on the perks and benefits that come with the card. Number two is exactly how hard the credits are to actually use in the real world based on real life experiences. And thirdly, even though not every card on this list actually comes with it, we're going to be ranking lounge access to see just exactly how powerful it might be for somebody who wants one card and to have a more luxurious airport experience every time they travel. And so even though I think most of these high annual fee credit cards aren't necessarily worth it for the average person, I do think some of these on this list are entirely worth it. Like number one, for example, the Citi Strata Elite, the newest card to the entire premium credit card lineup. This card was just released literally 1 week ago last Sunday. And so already with a $595 annual fee, it probably puts it around the mid-tier category as far as high annual fees are concerned, because it's not quite as low as a $395 Venture X, and it's not quite as high as a $795 Sapphire Reserve. But if we look at the credits, that might tell a different story. So number one, you're going to be getting a $300 annual hotel benefit that must be used on a stay of 2 nights or more when only booked through the Citi travel portal. And while $300 is a good chunk of that annual fee already given back to you every single year, because it is on a 2-night basis, thus making it so much easier for you to get kind of priced out of hotels or overpaying for this particular stay. And we do know that portals tend to overprice their options. We do know we're not getting the full brunt of that $300 credit, which is honestly a less usable and less powerful $300 credit like we get on the Sapphire Reserve, which is way more flexible and can be used towards any purchases. Doesn't even have to be in the portal. I could go take a train ride, and as long as the code says travel, it'll count towards that $300 credit and no upcharges whatsoever. Same goes with the Venture X $300 travel credit, where it's also very broad and can be used on the travel portal. Still going to be a little bit overpriced, but I think just that much easier because it does not require that 2-night minimum. That kind of kills it for me. It also comes with a $200 annual splurge credit that can be used on like American Airlines flights, or it could be used on Ticketmaster, Live Nation for comedy shows or concerts. It could also be used to buy and discount a MacBook at your local Best Buy, or even some personal training if you're trying to get jacked like Mr. Luke. And while I do think this credit is pretty generous, I guess it just depends on the type of person that you are. Well, are you going to be booking an American Airlines flight? Do you usually pay cash for that? And can you even find a flight that's worth $200? I would say you probably can if it's a one-way, but it really depends on your distance. Are you somebody that goes to concerts and comedy shows? Well, I for one am one of those people, but the Sapphire Reserve also does come with its own credit, like the $300 StubHub credit that actually gives you more money total per year. And I think it can be in some cases a little bit more valuable based on the dollar amount than solo on the Citi Strata itself, but I do like this credit. You also get a $200 annual Black Lane credit that's going to be used towards like a private chauffeur service. Most of the time it's overpriced if it's here domestically in the US, but if you go abroad and you check out other countries where it's available, it's actually somewhat comparable to Uber, but it's still going to be about 5 to maybe 10% overpriced, which means you're not still getting that $200 in credit. So as far as annual credits are concerned, considering the nature of them and how they're actually going to end up making you kind of overpay in all three of these cases, I definitely think you're not getting the full brunt of this total $700 in credits. And in my estimation, you're actually getting closer to maybe $450 to maybe $500 in total credits, thus not fully, at least for me, being able to offset that full annual fee. Do your own research at home. And so for thirdly, lounge access, it does come with a priority pass, some PP, a very strong PP at that. It gives you a PP membership where you can actually get 2 guests in with you for the primary cardholder, all into these lounges, which the same can't be said for the Capital One Venture X anymore. You no longer can bring guests in as the primary cardholder. It also comes with 4 Admirals Club passes every single year on the specific credit card. But as our good friend Sledge might tell you, 4 passes are really going to constitute maybe 1, maybe 2 trips at that. And so I think it's a good plus. I don't think it's as great as we might think at face value, depending on how often you're actually traveling. So as far as the Citi Strata Elite is concerned, I definitely think it's a great card. I definitely don't think it's the best card. And of course, these rankings could definitely change over time. But at least for me right now, I'm kind of feeling like it's probably in the possibly this might have to change over time, but at least for right now, I think it's going to go to B tier. I'm almost feeling C tier on this one, but we'll go B for now, and then we'll go from there. But much like the Strata Elite coming with the Admirals Club access, we also have another credit card called the Citi AA Advantage Executive Card that also gives you Admirals Club membership, but actually it seems to be unlimited And it almost seems like more lounges because the City Strata Elite only boasts up to 50 lounges. This one actually boasts 100 lounges, so I'm not actually sure on that. But at least we know it seems like we have unlimited access to the Admirals Club versus just the 4 passes on the City Strata Elite. And this credit card, as far as annual fee is concerned, is the exact same as the Strata Elite at $595, putting it promptly in that mid-tier, maybe a little bit above mid-tier category like the Strata Elite. This credit card also does not come with a Priority Pass membership, so it has no PP, which is actually pretty damning as far as the world of high annual fee premium credit cards, especially one that comes with an almost $600 annual fee. You would hope to see a little bit of PP on this specific card. So that's one thing that it definitely does not have. So what are the credits that come along with this card, and how easily can we offset that annual fee? Well, one, it comes up to $120 in lift credits every single year, but you have to take 3 eligible rides every single month to get that $10 lift credit. So not only do you have to take 3 rides without getting any credits whatsoever, then you get your $10 credit and then get a fourth ride to be able to use that credit in the same given month, up to $120 annually. And I really don't think this is good whatsoever, considering there are lower annual fee cards not on this list, like the Delta Platinum card that comes with a $120 lift credit without actually having to take any rides whatsoever to get that $10 every single month. So I think that's pretty low end. You'll see to be getting $120 on eligible Grubhub purchases. So this is very similar to, like, the Amex Gold card, the Amex Platinum card, $10 per month towards Grubhub, $120 every single year. Okay, I know a lot of people can use that. There are some upcharges on Grubhub, so you're not getting that full $10, but I digress. You're also going to be getting $120 in eligible Avis and budget car rentals. Now, this one I actually think is pretty usable since you do get a $120 statement credit every calendar year. So for like me, I like to do one-way positioning drives. That's right, not flights, but positioning drives to my local airport of Charlotte, North Carolina, so I can fly out abroad. And so I typically have to do a car rental with Hertz or what have you and pay typically around $120 to $150 for that one-way car rental. So this is one that I think in the real world could be very usable, but it seems to be the only credit that I personally would care about. And that's the only credit that I think can offset that $600 annual fee. And so while if you're somebody that's traveling AA or one of their One World partners very often and you love Admirals Club, then yes, I do think it can be worthwhile for every single visit that you go to. But at least for me personally, only that $120 credit is actually preserved, and I cannot offset that annual fee whatsoever for my personal situation. And so for that reason, the AA executive card for the same annual fee as the Strata Elite, a little bit better lounge access, but with terrible credits. I'm going to actually put this all the way down to, and I just realized we have an E tier as well. So maybe we'll make use of this E tier. I really just thought it was D and then F. Okay, so we'll go E tier for now because there are worse cards than the AA Advantage card at this time. And again, this might change. But one card that is super under the radar is the MasterCard Gold card. This is the second highest annual fee card on the list at $1,000 every single year. And I think most people would actually be surprised to hear that it does come with some credits and coupons. One specifically is a $200 airline credit that can be used towards flight related purchases like airline tickets, baggage fees, upgrades, and whatnot. And most people would be surprised that it also comes with its own Priority Pass membership, which the same can't necessarily be said for the Citi executive card. So for that reason, we're going to be putting the luxury gold card all the way up above the executive card at S. I'm just kidding. All right, we'll put that F tier. Some of you guys are already ready to click off. You were like, is this fool about to put the gold? Next on our list is the Sapphire Reserve. And I think some people would be surprised exactly how high I put it up on the list. And some people may know, but the Sapphire Reserve has been recently revamped. They increased the annual fee by about $245 up to $795 every single year, making it the third most expensive card on our ranking today. And some of the credits that come along with this card are not that bad. One, you're going to be getting that $300 annual travel credit, like we talked about earlier, where you can just go and book a train ride or book an Uber ride or go book an Airbnb. So long as it is covered under that travel category, it will code towards this $300 credit. So it's the most broad, most easily used travel credit in all of the credit card game. And so for that, it already gets a big plus over pretty much any other card on this list as far as a usable credit is concerned. So very, very easy to use credit. And that's kind of part of the ranking today is how easy the credits are to be used. On top of that, you're also going to be getting a $500 edit credit, which is going to be used towards the Sapphire Reserve's edit collection, which is comparable to like the American Express Platinum's FHR. So this is luxury hotel programs. And you're going to be getting $250 every 6 months. This credit is also much more nerfed just based on the fact of, like the City Strata Elite, it has a 2-night minimum. And the edit collection typically has curated list of higher end luxury hotels. So it's very rare to find one that's around $250 every single night. And even if you can find one that is 250 every single night, it's a 2 night minimum, which means minimum you're going to be spending $500 plus every 6 months to make use of this full $500 credit. So not only are you overpaying by an additional night that maybe you wouldn't normally do if you didn't have this credit. So that's an additional $500 you have to spend every single year to get back an additional $500. So like, yeah, you got some vacations out of it. Yeah, you got some perks and benefits because these types of hotels will give you like $100 experience credit, breakfast for two. So you can recoup that money back, but it's not a full true $500 credit. It's not the easiest to use because a lot of people who use these hotels don't really want to use 2 night minimums, at least for the lower end of the game. Myself personally, actually don't really have a problem with doing 2 night minimums every so often if I had this credit. So I think it's actually usable, maybe just not the most usable at that. But at $500, it does promptly put it above the $200 hotel credit that does come on the Platinum card that can be on a 1 day stay, and we'll get into it, but it's $300 more on the Sapphire Reserve. So while it is more money and harder to use, I definitely think that this one might actually end up being maybe eking out a little bit more value than the Platinum, but the jury's out on that one still. You're also going to be getting a fairly generous $300 dining credit, $150 every 6 months. And I actually think this one is pretty powerful, just given the fact that it is in over 270 or 280 restaurants all across the US. I think if you're traveling fairly often, at least domestically, I think you'll end up at a place that qualifies under the Sapphire Reserve tables. And $150 each time for every 6 months is very generous. And I think it's very usable, especially if you get a couple steak dinners, some entrees, intermezzos. I mean, that's pretty good credit, and I think you can get full use of that $150 credit, especially since these restaurants don't have to be like the highest tier restaurants. They're not Michelin star. They can just be regular different restaurants. And so I think $150 is very usable, but one thing that does make it hard is you have to be in a state that has a lot of Sapphire Reserve tables, and you want to be in a restaurant that serves food that you might want. And it's definitely not as simple as like the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant that has a $300 dining credit that could be used towards any restaurant every single month. So not a full $300, but the dining credit could be used towards any restaurant. Doesn't have to be on a specific program. On top of that, you do get a very convoluted, hard to use $300 DoorDash promo where it's like $5 monthly and $10 2 times a month. It's I don't even understand it, and so I don't even want to rank it. I'm just gonna say we're not gonna really use too much of that. DoorDash membership, okay, cool. I know some people love that. Apple TV, I know some people use that. I don't personally, so that depends on you. But one thing I do use is the $300 StubHub credit. And I'm somebody that loves to use StubHub. I like to do comedy shows or concerts every single year with my wife and I. And it's $150 every 6 months. And you very easily could use the full $300 in one trip. But honestly, the $150 would be enough to cover like a full concert for my wife and I. But if you wanted to use the full 300 on one trip, you very easily could just wait till the end of June, pay for a $150 ticket for you, and then bam, wait a day later for July 1st, do another $150 ticket, and wham, bam, you and your wife can hopefully sit together at the concert venue, what have you. So a little bit convoluted, but I actually think it's a lot easier than some people might think based on the shows that I personally go to out and about here in the somewhat deep south. And unlike the AA executive card, you're going to be getting $120 lift credits, $10 monthly without actually having to do 3 rides in the given month to earn that $10 credit. Lounge access is definitely not bad whatsoever. You do get a priority pass select membership that does allow up to 2 guests, which again, the same can't be said with the Venture X anymore since it's a recent nerf. And you also have access to the Chase Sapphire lounges all across the United States, wherever you can find one. And you also have access to the Air Canada Maple Leaf lounges. And so with the lounge access and the credits that I think are pretty much more usable than most of the credit cards on this list, and even though it does come with a higher annual fee of $795, I think the credits can somewhat offset that very, very strongly, at least for my own use case. And so for that reason, the Sapphire Reserve is actually going to go much higher than most of you may imagine. I'm actually going to put it at A tier for now until we get a little bit further into this list. So A tier for now. But one card that definitely does not stray from controversy is the Amex Platinum card. And even though this video will be outdated come October when they refresh the Platinum card and very likely raise this to $895, at least for right now, it does have a $695 annual fee, making it kind of tied with the 4th most expensive credit card on this list. And yes, we actually have one other card that has the exact same annual fee as this a little bit later. And so as far as credits are concerned, the Amex Platinum card has always been the king of it. It's definitely changing now with more and more cards releasing new credits and stuff like that, but the Platinum card has always been known for that, and let's see what it offers. And I've had this card for many, many years, so a lot of experience with this. So a $200 airline free credit, anything that has to do with incidentals on your qualifying airline of your choosing every single year. So taxes and fees, fuel surcharges when you're paying with your Platinum card can be covered under this $200 airline fee credit. Over the years, I've always used this $200 credit to get my wife into the Delta Sky Clubs completely for free, because usually it's about $50 every single visit. So it's free for me for being a Platinum card holder, $50 for her. So if you actually use your Platinum card, it'll code towards this credit. And I was able to get basically 4 free passes every year towards the Delta Sky Club with this credit. A lot of other people in the space like to use it for, United Travel Bank, and that also is a very usable credit. $200 for cash flights with United every single year, I think, is very usable. And we do know that there are some tricks to book Delta flights with this actual credit as well. You'll also be getting a $200 hotel credit, like we talked about earlier, that can be used towards the hotel collection, which does have a 2-night minimum, which would have put it on par with the Sapphire Reserve or Strata Elite. But as of right now, it does come along the Fine Hotels and Resorts program, which only requires a 1-night stay. So it does make this credit a lot easier to use, because even though they are more upscale hotels, you don't have to be overpriced and overpay for a second night, and you can kind of throw it all out on one night. Like, for example, when I booked the Waldorf Astoria in Washington, D.C., I was able to use this $200 credit to discount a $450 a night stay, and I ended up getting about $160 or $70 in food credits, thus discounting my $450 stay down to, like, in the hundreds, basically, just for an amazing, life-changing kind of hotel stay. And so while I do think that this probably is going to go away come October when they refresh the card, and I would put money that the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection is going to require a 2-night minimum going forward, because they see everyone else doing it. If they kept it at 1 night, and as it is right now, it's way more usable, way more valuable. And I would definitely say is an easier credit to use than the Sapphire Reserve's Edit credit and the Strata Elite's $300 annual hotel credit of 2 nights or more. You're also going to be getting a $240 digital entertainment credit, which I used for many, many years on the Disney bundle. So it gives you Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN, and this credit pretty much covers it completely. Also, Peacock, if you're trying to watch The Office, pretty much every single year when you have to watch all the reruns of The Office, that is covered under this credit as well. And I think for most people, they can get value out of this. $200 Uber cash. Again, I think you're overpaying when you're going through Uber, but this could be used towards Uber rides or for Uber Eats. Most people end up using it, a couple times a year when they're traveling for Uber rides, but most of the time they use it for Uber Eats, where you're getting a little bit upcharge. So I think if you're using it for Uber rides, not necessarily an upcharge, very usable. For Uber Eats, a little bit less usable, more upcharge, I would say. Saks Fifth, that's kind of a meme now, $50 every 6 months. And I've gotten, nice shirts from there. And I've actually gotten some of my favorite shirts from Saks Fifth with this credit over the years, but definitely not one that most people would actually consider in the annual fee every year. $150 to $5 Walmart Plus credit. It basically just gives you Walmart Plus completely for free with a specific credit card. This actually, I think people sleep on sometimes. You can get some good options with Walmart and shipping and delivery fees. A lot of them can be waived or at least discounted in some cases. So I do think it is cool. One thing that I think is pretty cool that people sleep on is you can actually get free battery swaps for your car. Like if you have the 12-volt battery go on you, if you have a Walmart Plus membership and you just buy one from Walmart, they'll actually install it completely for free for you if you have a Walmart Plus, which, could be maybe a $50 savings, who knows. It also comes with a $199 Clear Plus credit that allows you to get through the security lines that much faster in airports that actually have them. I've used this over the years, and it definitely was faster than TSA PreCheck in the airports that they actually had them. And so with all the credits, you can definitely see some were usable, some were not so usable. It's kind of mid, it's kind of half and half as far as how valuable these credits actually are. And it is a lot of them, but again, it's kind of jumping through hoops in some cases. But as far as airport lounge access is concerned, it definitely is the granddaddy of it all, because it does give you the largest swath of airport lounge access known to any credit card in the entire space. Like you get Delta Sky Club access, like I talked about earlier with my wife and I. You also get Centurion lounge access completely for free for the card holder. You also get Lufthansa lounge access, which I saw one in the Athens airport that looked pretty nice. Plaza Premium, which also overlaps with the Venture X, so you can get Plaza Premium with the Platinum card as well. Escape lounges, which are actually in my home airport, it's very nice. And Priority Pass Select, of course, like many of these also have. And so as far as lounge access is concerned, very, very hard to beat the Platinum card. It's probably the best on this entire list today. And so for the Platinum card, and since there's a lot of things I actually can't even fully go into in this video, it's getting too long, like Hilton Gold status and what have you, and having the largest swath of lounge access and decent to use credits, mid-tier credits, but being $100 cheaper than the Sapphire Reserve, I kind of want to put it S tier for now. I kind of want to put it A tier because I kind of like the Sapphire Reserve a little bit better, but uh All right, let's leave it A for now, and then we'll decide a little bit later. But another card on this list that actually has lounge access, very comparable to the Platinum card that most people wouldn't even realize, is the Delta Reserve card. And this is a card that has a slightly under annual fee than the Platinum card, at $650, so $45 cheaper than the Platinum card. But most people wouldn't even realize that you actually get two different types of lounge access with the specific credit card. One, you may be surprised, but you also get complimentary free access to the Centurion lounges, which most people just assume it's only the Platinum card or the Centurion card. But yes, you do get Centurion lounge access with this card as well. And you also get Delta Sky Club access for 15 visits every single year. And on top of that, you also get 4 one-time guest passes every single year. So if you didn't have that $200 credit like on the Platinum card and how I use my airline credit to get my wife in, you actually get the same amount of use cases, so 4 of them, for getting my wife into Delta Sky Clubs every single year for the Delta Reserve. Now, on lounge access alone, Platinum card easily wins because it has more of them. But what else does this card come with in the way of credits for a $650 annual fee? Well, one, you're going to be getting a $240 Resi credit. That's $20 every single month. Resi is Amex's booking platform that they bought and allows you to make reservations at some decent restaurants. And so if you just go to a Resi restaurant, pay with your Delta Reserve card, you're going to be getting $20 every single month towards all those purchases, which I think can be usable. I have a bunch of Resi restaurants in my area. I could definitely go and get one burger every single month from a Resi restaurant, use that $20 and get full value from this Resi credit. Definitely not saying it's not jumping through hoops. It's definitely like an extra thing I have to do. And I already don't eat out at all. So it's definitely not something I personally could use, or actually I would want to use at this point, because food out is just never really makes you feel good anymore. I just cook at home now. It also comes with a $200 Delta Stays credit, which is pretty much booking on Expedia. So any hotel that you see on Expedia, you could be using your $200 Delta Stays credit on. And I've used this over the years at a couple of different crazy occasions, and I've been able to get the full brunt of this $200 credit without much overpaying, because Expedia usually has the best pricing out of all of these portals. And of course, it's third party, so you're not going to get a lot of other benefits, and you have some risk there with third party. But Expedia has been fine. I've done Delta Stays a bunch of times, never had an issue. And you actually regularly can get discounts on Delta Stays via Expedia when actually booking and using this credit. So I think it's a full $200 credit. You're also going to be getting a $120 rideshare credit. So $10 every single month, which we keep crapping on and keep going back to it. But the same can't be said for the AA executive card. So pour one out. But the most important credit on this card, that is the most valuable perk of this entire card, which is the annual companion certificate, and has recently been upgraded to be used at a few more locations. So now you can use it in the US, Mexico, Caribbean, and Central America. And then basically it's a buy one, get one free coupon. So if I buy a first class ticket, to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and it's maybe $600 ticket from me, I will now get that $600 ticket completely for free for my wife when using this companion certificate. So thus saving you $600 and thus pretty much paying off that annual fee in one flight. It also can be used towards main cabin or Delta Comfort Plus and round trip flights only. And so while it does have to be round trip, it does actually force you to overpay a little bit in certain cases. And from what I understand, I never actually use this companion certificate, but some people find that it can be a little bit harder to use in some cases. So I can't necessarily ascribe like insane amount of value, but it's definitely the most valuable perk on this card alone. And so with some of the credits that can kind of offset, and with some decent lounge access, I definitely don't think it's like the best card in the world. It's definitely not an S tier card or even an A tier card. And at least for the annual fee, I still think the Strata Elite might eke out a little bit more value than the Sky Mile Reserve, just because I don't know about that companion certificate fully. I mean, some people love it. I don't know if I would love it as much, especially paying cash when I have so many miles to book and pay with points. I'm going to put it promptly in the C tier for now. I'm going to put it C tier. Maybe controversial, but we're going to go C tier for now. We're going to speed it up a little bit, but now we have the Ritz-Carlton credit card. And this is a credit card that I kind of, took some shots at recently on a recent video. And I said it's not as great as the card after this, but the Ritz-Carlton card has been known as being like the secret super rare card in all the credit card industry. It sports a $450 annual fee, making it one of the lowest annual fee cards on this entire list, and comes with a few different perks. One, of course, the most valuable perk on this card alone is a free night award that can be used towards Marriott properties all across the world. It does have a cap of 85,000 points, and I've done videos on this specifically, and basically I estimate this 85K cert From what I found, the 85K cert, released for the areas I want to travel to, never really cover the higher end stays that you can get to the $1,000, $2,000 mark. So we'll call it in the middle, maybe a $750 value, which easily offsets the $450 annual fee. And I definitely think it's one of the better benefits and perks that come with any of the credit cards on this list today. So I'll never knock it for that. On top of that, we have high level travel perks right here, like the $300 annual travel credit that can be used towards pretty basically the vanilla way is baggage purchases, seat upgrades, lounge membership or passes and what have you. But everybody kind of knows you can kind of just call this number and say, hey, this couple of last purchases that I'm not going to tell you what they are, but they were hotels and flights and stuff. They were just, it was a travel credit, right? And so they'll, depending on the rep that you get, will tell you that that's usable, and then you can get the full $300 credit on that. If you're using the vanilla way, not really valuable. If you use it in the sneaky way, definitely a very valuable $300 credit. So the way of credits and stuff like that, way better than every other card on this list so far. And you get the strongest priority pass lounge access pretty much known to man. It'll allow you access to priority passes with some guests. You also have access to the Chase Sapphire lounges, and then also you can have unlimited free authorized users that also get their own priority pass lounge access, which is again infinitely more valuable than all the other cards on this list that charge you for authorized users. This one does not charge you for authorized users. And so with all the benefits and credits and the easy lounge access, I'm actually going to put this a little bit higher for the ease of use. I'm going to put this at A tier. And remember, this list is about decent lounge access, what's the easiest to use credits and coupons, and not, comparing necessarily one-to-one to absolutely everything. So I'm going to say we're promptly at A tier for this card as of right now. But this credit card, because it's A tier, there has to be one that's a little bit stronger than that in the way of hotel perks, and that is the Hilton Aspire card. And you guys know I kind of have a love affair with the Hilton Aspire card. It's the one card I don't have that I really want. It's the one card that has a high annual fee that I actually want, and it's a $550 annual fee, making it, mid-tier, a little bit lower than the Citi Strata Elite, and it comes with a lot of different benefits that I absolutely love. Not to mention status, which we're not even talking about in this video, but it does come with a few different things. One, the free night reward, which is more powerful than the Ritz-Carlton card's free night award because it is virtually uncapped. It can be used towards any property, any Hilton property in the world, so long as there is a standard room available. And in the next 12 months, I've been able to redeem these free night awards for over 2,000 a night hotels, in Japan, in Italy, and in a few different places. These free night awards are the best in the entire industry and easily offset the annual fee every single year. On top of that, you actually get a $400 Hilton Resort credit, $200 every single year. So essentially, we can't go into all the nitty gritty, but if you go to a resort hotel, it has to be a Hilton Resort. You can look up online exactly which ones qualify, but essentially you can pay a checkout with your Hilton Aspire card, and it'll code towards this credit, thus discounting that stay when you pay in cash by $200. And if you are at a hotel that is a resort credit, you pay with points. You could also pay with your Aspire for like the food and amenities on there, bill it back to the room, pay with your Aspire, and you could essentially prepay your food as well with this $200 credit. So very usable, very powerful, I think. Just makes it a little bit less usable because it has to do with resorts, but there's so many resorts. You can look at the list. It kind of goes on forever. $200 flight credit, definitely jumping through hoops because it's $50 every 3 months. So you have to remember and have a calendar reminder to use this. Essentially, it can be used towards any flight. So if you find a $50 flight out in the world that, you're not afraid to go on, yes, this can cover that $50 flight. But what most people do is they just go on United Travel Bank, pay $50 with the Hilton Aspire card, and they will just build this up quarter after quarter, year after year, and get $200 in United flight credits every single year with the Aspire card, which is usable. Just you have to jump through a couple more hoops to get it done. Still not a big deal in my book, though. Much like the Platinum card, you also get $190 clear credit, which some people value, some people don't. I like clear, but it's a perk on the card alone. And that's pretty much it in the way of airport ease. This card no longer comes with Priority Pass membership like it once did just a couple of years ago. So there is no lounge access on this card. So unfortunately, because there's no lounge access, but it does have the best credits, I think, of any card on this list, or maybe, at least the best free night certificate. I know I should put it below because there's no lounge access. But you know what? I'm going to do some rage bait. It's S tier. If you don't agree, by all means, hit me, try to kill me in the comments. Try to fight me on the Aspire. I dare you. But another hotel card on this list that has an extremely high annual fee is the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. It does come with its own $650 annual fee, exactly the same as the Delta Reserve. And this also, too, comes with some interesting credits. One we talked about earlier, the $300 Brilliant Dining credit, $25 per month, which, again, it's more usable because it could be used towards any restaurant worldwide, mind you. So as long as you pay with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant towards any restaurant, you're going to be getting $25 per month. The $25 per month will cover one burger, maybe two if you're at a cheaper joint, and then it can be usable for you and your spouse. But if it's just a solo person, yeah, I think you can get the full brunt of that $25 every single month towards this credit, making it one of the more easy to use credits, I think, in this entire list. You're also going to be getting the same free night award you would get on the Ritz-Carlton card of 85K cert, which we said is about maybe a $750 and the highest end redemption with this 85K cert, which makes it much more usable than many other credits that are on this list today. But for $200 more than the Ritz-Carlton card, a little bit tough. Unlike the Hilton Aspire card, the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant does come with its own Priority Pass Select membership, so you do get some PP access with the Bonvoy Brilliant. But on top of that, there really are no other credits and benefits on this card that can offset that annual fee other than the dining credit and the free night award, which honestly is probably enough for these Marriott lovers out here. But for me, the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, I could never really see the full value in it, and I think you can get more value out of the Ritz-Carlton card easily. So for that, I'm actually going to put it on the same tier as this Reserve, where it's powerful, but not really the most beneficial for, I think, most people out there. I think you do better with many other cards out there. So C tier for me. Next up is the fan favorite, the Capital One Venture X. Still, even after all the nerfs on the benefits, on the priority pass and whatnot, still one of the most easily justified cards in the entire credit card game. What with sporting a $395 annual fee, literally being the lowest annual fee out of this entire list, you never thought you'd see the day, comes with a $300 annual travel credit that can be used on Capital One Travel, which can be a little bit upcharged, a little bit overpriced in some cases, but they do have services like Hopper and stuff like that that allow you to get the best deal possible. So I do think the $300 is fully usable. I don't think you're going to be maybe wasting a couple dollars here and there, but I'm going to call it the full $300 travel credit. And then 10,000 bonus anniversary miles that can be transferred out to partners to get better value. But they always say, $100 towards, travel, which I would estimate is probably double that, but, it depends on how you're using them. As far as airport lounges are concerned, you do have access to Capital One lounges all across the United States. Priority Pass lounge access, which has been nerfed to where you no longer can bring guests in for free. So that pretty much sucks. And even the 4 free authorized users that normally came on this card, now all of those authorized users don't necessarily get Priority Pass. Now they have to pay for access to the lounges for the authorized users. So heavily nerfed the Venture X on lounge access alone. And it also comes with Plaza Premium that the Platinum card also does come with. So the Venture X, even though we share a name, and it's definitely the easiest to justify card because of the recent, nerfs as far as lounge access is concerned, but it does come with some credits that I think are very usable. Where do we put this? Man, I don't want to put a B tier, but the lounge access hurts it a little bit. It definitely hurts it a little bit. I kind of want to go A because it is super justifiable, but then I'm just like, you're paying $395 for prepaying for $300 in travel credits. So you know what? Screw that. We're gonna go with B tier for now, and we'll maybe rearrange it a little bit later. I know I just hurt so many people out there with the B tier ranking. I get it. Next up is the actually only discontinued card on this list, but they just had a recent nerf, so I decided to include it in this list, which is the US Bank Altitude Reserve. This is a credit card that was a fan favorite for many years. It came with a $400 annual fee, making it the second cheapest card on this list, $5 more expensive than the Venture X. Comes with a $300 annual credit that actually mentions right here incorrectly travel and dining purchases. It actually was just nerfed to now only include travel purchases. So you no longer could actually get dining purchases on this, which a lot of people love to use it for. And one of the main perks, and you could see in the newsletter here and where they actually nerfed it, where you can see the nerf right here where it says now the $325 annually is just going to be used on travel purchases through the travel center, so their portal, and no longer going to be used on general travel or dining purchases after December 14th, 2025. Also, the biggest nerf that people have kind of really hated on these updated changes and pretty much nerfed this card to oblivion. Essentially, in the past, you're able to earn 3x back on all mobile wallet, but those 3x back can be redeemed at 1.5% back through the travel eraser tool called real-time rewards, but effective again December 12th, 2025. It's now going to be nerfed to now just being worth 1 cent per point instead of 1.5. So that 3x on mobile wallet is now just 3x back back to you as far as cashback. So essentially a 3% cashback when redeemed through travel. So because it has a $400 annual fee, they nerfed the dining purchases, they kind of nerfed the travel credit as well, 8 priority pass lounges, and then, the nerfing of the 1.5. Man, I don't know. I never got the card, even when it was the better card when it had the 1.5 multiplier and a better travel credit, I still did not see the value in the reserve, and that's why I never got it, despite so many people trying to force me to get it. I definitely didn't think it was valuable then, and I still think it's way less valuable now. So I'm actually going to put it down, way down, probably in D tier because I still think it's better than the A executive card, but I'll put a D tier for now. Next up is the card I have the least experience with, and that is the United Club card. It comes with the annual fee of $6.95, matching the Amex Platinum card, and it comes with a few different perks. One being United Club access, which is just 4 passes every single year, which is very similar to the Strata Elites Admiral's Club Lounge access of 4 every single year. You're also going to be getting $200 in credits annually towards the United's renowned hotel and resort collection, which is honestly going to be very comparable to Delta stays, like on the Delta Reserve. So $200, very, very similar credit. It's going to be something similar to Expedia. So very usable, I would say, and you're not really going to get too much upcharge, I would say. $150 in rideshare credits every single year, which is $12 per month, weird number, and $18 in December, very similar to the Platinum cards Uber Cash. $100 in travel credits towards these car rentals like Avis and Budget, which is very, very similar to the AA Executive card. $240 in Instacart credits that are unfortunately split in 2 intervals every single month. So $10 2 times a month. So that means you have to minimum do 2 Instacart purchases per month, which I find are about 20% more expensive on average, at least in my area for Instacart. So I don't see any value in that. You're going to end up eating into that $10 easily. And then $200 in JSX credits, which is the private jet service that United actually partners with. So yeah, if you're trying to fly private, yeah, you can use $200 on a $5,000 flight for a one-way to San Diego. Absolutely. And I'm not seeing it here, but is there no party pass? I don't see any party pass. I could be wrong, but I don't see any party pass. I just see literally United Club lounge access and nothing else. As far as I'm concerned, it looks like there's no priority pass. So as far as that, I don't see how I would at any case find this more valuable than the Amex Platinum card at the exact same annual fee of $6.95. And based on everything, I'm gonna put it on the same level, E tier, as the AA Executive card. I don't see where I could recoup the annual fee as much as the Amex Platinum card at the exact same annual fee of $6.95. So I'm gonna put it on the same tier as AA Advantage. Actually, man, it does come some hotel credits. Okay, I'll put a D tier with the reserve. We'll put a D tier. It's getting tough. Next up is the black card, which actually, again, is one of the more powerful luxury cards on the market. It's a $500, $495 annual fee, making it like the 3rd cheapest option. And it does give you a few different things, like 1.5 value on cashback redemptions that can be deposited directly into your US bank account. Did you know that this was issued by US Bank? It also comes with its own annual airline credit, like we said on the luxury gold card, and Priority Pass lounge access that, same can't be said for United Club card. So I think we have to put it above. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll put it F tier as well. The luxury cards got to go F tier. No matter what. No matter what, they got to go F tier. Speaking of black cards, though, we're actually going to get into the most famous black card, and that is the Centurion card, the Amex Centurion card. I wasn't going to include it on the list because it really is just a meme at this point, but hell, if we're talking about black cards, this card, of course, comes with a $10,000 initiation fee once you first apply for it. It also has an annual fee of $5,000, so initiation fee of $15,000 in your first year when you actually get the Centurion card. And what does it actually give you? Well, you're going to be getting a Marriott Bonvoy Gold Elite status, which is, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And you do get Diamond status. All right, I'll give it there. You don't have to get an Aspire anymore with a 10x less cheaper annual fee. You also get IHG Platinum Elite status that you can already get with the new Sapphire Reserve, so that's cool. Delta SkyMiles Platinum Oh, I didn't know it came with Platinum. I'm telling you. Okay, that's actually not too bad. That's pretty funny that I didn't know it had. Saks Fifth, $1,000 annual will be $250 per year. I mean, come on. If you could just pay $250 for some bow ties on Saks Fifth or some freaking Versace cologne, you could be reselling this and at least recoup 20% of that annual fee every single year. Equinox, look at this guy. Killing it with his $5,000 membership fee. And the Centurion House, which is a speakeasy, very cool. I don't even know what this is, but it's a private suite in LAX and ATL. I never even heard of this. I guess you really have to be a true celebrity, as they mentioned right here. And honestly, I don't even know why, but I thought I think it comes with credits. Like, I thought it came with its own FHR credit and stuff like that. I cannot find it on any website for some reason right now. And the fact that you have to spend, close to $500,000 every single year running that through your business accounts to even be eligible to get this credit card, there's no credits in the world that are going to offset that annual fee. And for that reason, we have to put it S tier along with the Aspire card. I'm just kidding. We're going to put it down in F tier because why? And screw it, because I just thought about it in this moment. We're going to do a bonus one, the JP Morgan Palladium card, because it literally just got revamped. The new JP Morgan $10 million card. You have to have $10 million in assets, Chase Private Client, to be eligible to be invited to get the JP Morgan Reserve. Fun fact, I actually have seen this credit card in person, and it was none other than your good friend Sebi. He whipped it out to pay for a dinner we were at, and yeah. That's big money status, man. Big Daddy JP Morgan and Big Daddy Sebi. And this credit card is actually the exact same benefits, couple of differences, but basically the exact same benefits that come along with the Sapphire Reserve, the new Sapphire Reserve. So it also comes with its own $795 annual fee, $300 credit, edit collection credit, all these different credits. And so we'll throw this back on the list right here. And because it's so exclusive, because I have a fond memory of it, and because it's basically the exact same card as the Sapphire Reserve, I mean, with a couple of the perks, yeah, I mean, we got to put it A tier. I mean, it has to be the same level as the Sapphire Reserve. But as we talked about all these credits and high annual fees and changes, you have to understand there is one culprit at fault here, and that is the Amex Platinum card. The Amex Platinum card and American Express as a whole has changed this entire generation that has effectively affected all of these credit cards that you see on the list today, to which cards that never had credits or higher annual fees now have introduced them in true Amex fashion and multiple times per month. And if Amex is to blame, you got to check out this video here and exactly my outline of how American Express broke the entire credit card world and how we end up here in a video where we talk about how great credits actually are, because it wasn't always a thing until they hit the scene. So check out that video. I hope you get some value from it, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. Take care and have fun.